All right, let's dive into a story that is just pure Formula One genius, full of high-stakes strategy right from the paddock. We're talking about Ferrari and a plan that sounds, well, completely backward. The idea is that they might actually be intentionally slow right now so they can become unbelievably fast later on.
And that right there is the big question, isn't it? I mean, in F1, being down on power sounds like a total disaster. But what we're about to unpack is how, in the ridiculously complex world of modern F1 regulations, a carefully managed weakness can actually become your biggest secret weapon. So, let's get into the engineering behind this whole thing.
Okay, first things first, let's put on our engineer's hat and really diagnose the problem here. Because this isn't just about a single horsepower number. No, it's about a domino effect, a technical problem that just gets worse and worse every single lap, on every single straight.
And here it is, the magic number. Word from inside the paddock is that Ferrari's power unit is running about 25 horsepower behind the benchmark, which right now is Mercedes. And you know, in a sport that's won and lost by thousandths of a second, that is a huge, huge gap.
See, in this hybrid era of Formula One, having a power deficit isn't as simple as just being slow on the straights. Oh no, it's way more punishing than that. It kicks off this vicious cycle that completely messes with the car's entire energy management system.
And that cycle leads to this thing engineers call superclipping. So imagine this, you're absolutely pinned, full throttle down a long straight, and then suddenly, about 3/4 of the way down, it feels like someone just yanked the power cord. The car basically falls flat on its face. You become a sitting duck for anyone behind you.
Let's break down how this nasty cycle works. It all starts with that engine deficit. Because the engine itself is weaker, the car can't recover as much kinetic energy when the driver hits the brakes. That means there's less power going back into the battery. So when you're on the next straight, the battery runs out of juice before you even get to the end. And that's when you get that dreaded superclipping, which costs you massive chunks of lap time.
So yeah, Ferrari has a pretty big problem. But, and this is where it gets brilliant, they figured out how to turn this weakness into a massive strategic opportunity. And it's all thanks to a very specific little clause in the FIA's rulebook.
This is the absolute core of their gamble. Ferrari seems to think that this 25 horsepower deficit isn't a mistake, it's a target. They've put themselves in a strategic sweet spot. They're just slow enough to have this power unit problem, but thanks to their great aerodynamics, they're still fast in the corners. And crucially, being this slow on the engine side triggers a very special rule. And that rule is called the ADU, which stands for Additional Development and Upgrade. Basically, the FIA put this rule in place to give struggling engine makers a chance to catch up. If your power unit is more than 2% slower than the fastest one on the grid, you get a little bit of help.
And this makes the whole strategy crystal clear. You see, if you're inside that 2% window, you're stuck. You have to follow the normal, super restrictive development rules. But if you fall outside that 2% window, you get what is basically a free pass to go develop a new engine and close that gap. By being 25 horsepower down, Ferrari is aiming squarely for that free pass.
Okay, so let's say Ferrari gets this ADU status. What happens then? What's the master plan? Well, it's not just a new engine. Oh no. They are prepping a massive two-pronged attack to completely wipe out this deficit and hopefully leapfrog the competition. And they are not wasting any time. The schedule is incredibly tight. They've already got a filming day booked at Monza, the Temple of Speed, to test out new aero parts. Then, in early May, the FIA does its official dyno tests, and that's what will decide who gets ADU status. If it all goes to plan, we could see a brand new Ferrari power unit on the grid as early as the Barcelona Grand Prix.
But this is so much bigger than just the power unit. The team is reportedly putting together what's being called a huge package of upgrades. We are talking about an overhaul so massive that it could literally change the design of almost half the car.
So, what's in this package? Well, we're expecting a big chassis revamp, a totally new front wing, and maybe the most exciting part, the return of their Macarena active rear wing. This thing is an advanced piece of aero that's designed to open and close in just 400 milliseconds. That's incredibly fast, and it could slash their drag on the straights. This is a top-to-bottom refresh.
So at the end of the day, this is an all-or-nothing, high-stakes gamble. It's a brilliant mix of engineering and clever paddock politics, but for it to be worth it, it absolutely has to pay off on the track.
And you know what makes this whole thing so juicy? It's what's going on at Mercedes, the benchmark team. While Ferrari is pulling off this complicated scheme, their biggest rival is struggling.
You've probably heard Lewis Hamilton on the radio, famously asking his team, "Where is my power?" It just creates this unbelievable contrast, right? You've got Mercedes, the team everyone is chasing, seemingly lost and searching for answers about their straight-line speed, and at the exact same time, Ferrari isn't searching for a fix. They're already in the simulator, getting ready to deploy it.
And the confidence coming out of Maranello is just off the charts. The team boss, Fred Vasseur, came right out and said, Miami will be a different championship. You know, with a new engine and basically half a new car on the way, he might just be right.
Which, of course, leaves us with the million-dollar question. Is this brilliant move, this perfect blend of gaming the system and a massive technical upgrade, going to be the thing that finally ends this era of Mercedes dominance? I guess we're all going to have to wait and see.